Tsunami Studios.
Batman issue 107, the storyline of whatever the Scarecrow is up to continues in a big and bad way. And we also get a backup featuring Ghost Maker that surprised the hell out of me by how cool it was. A great book. You know, Tynan knows exactly what he's doing with Batman. While I didn't like issue 106 as much as some other stuff, this one pulled me right back into the world. You know, it's structured in a beautiful way where each story is told before we go to the next story. We're not jumping around from scene to scene, something that I'm not a big fan of sometimes, and I think this worked really well. So again, we open up this book and we see that Batman's being tortured by Scarecrow, but instantly we cut back to something that I'm assuming happened in the past. Like, we saw this at the beginning of the last issue. I'm assuming we're coming to like that climactic beginning, maybe in like issue 110. But here we are seeing the news footage about people talking about A-Day. And this was a really cool scene. I like this idea. It's not something we've like experienced before a lot in, you know, Gotham City, where we're seeing like all these news reports talking about stuff. Like, we just assume that the world knows that the Joker or Scarecrow or Bane or whoever is a bad guy, but just seeing all these different newscasts and how we're seeing the world kind of reacting to stuff, people are thinking that, you know, Scarecrow did all the stuff that did the A-Day attacks. They're just figuring all this stuff out, like what's really going on. Some people believe that his new identity is a hoax and that the Scarecrow is actually dead. But the thing that they saw from Nakano, they're like, is this real? Is this fake? I like that idea a lot. It's a really cool thing to see. And we're seeing like a bunch of people explaining like, can Gotham City afford another like a massive supervillain attack here? Because we just had Joker War. Before that, we had City of Bane. If the Scarecrow is out to do something, we're really going to get effed in the A here. Like, we can't afford to have this going. And basically, the idea that is being presented is Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, is pretty much controlling Gotham City without actually using his toxin, which is a very cool thing to see. He's giving them fear without using his fear toxin. A really cool angle to play. Like, I'm sure it's been explored before in other stories, but that's really cool. I think it works really well. Again, Jorge Jimenez's art, it's perfect. Like, I can't say anything bad about it. The colors are great, the designs are great, the shadows are great. Everything about that artwork looks so good. So we see that Batman finds this like weird Scarecrow that doesn't have any like the fear toxin on it, and instantly he realizes it was like a setup, because here comes Renee Montoya, who's the new commissioner of Gotham City. And she's like, drop it, Batman. Nakano wants to bring in all vigilantes from this city. And Batman's like, that's great. You know, maybe instead of thinking I'm the bad guy, why don't you start looking at the right questions, Renee, and figure out like what's really going on at play. So Batman vanishes away into the night and just leaves her there, and she's kind of angry. I don't know what's going on with this Renee Montoya, but I'm sure something's going to come about with her. We'll figure it out probably, like what's really up with her. But it's like, okay, I get why she'd be commissioner. I don't think she'd be that against vigilantes, but whatever. It works for the most part. I don't got any complaints about that. We cut to a scene in Electric Town where we get more of like the neo lights and the pink and the blue and all the bright stuff. And this guy is just dressed up. He calls himself Stabbo, as we'll find out later. And basically he's like, I'm going on a killing spree. I'm stabbing a bunch of people. But here comes the new sidekick of Batman to come take him down. No, not Ghost Maker, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Harley freaking Quinn. So she comes in, bashes the guy over the head with a bat, and she like takes him down. It's like, oh, you're not that big of a threat. Like, you just stabbed a few people. So clearly all I could do is tell you, like, get back on your meds and you'll be fine. But the police show up just in time to see Harley there, and they assume that she's working with him. She hits one of the officers, more of them show up, and she's like, oh, great. That's just typical. So she has to flee and vanish, but she can't really get away because that's not her thing. She's not a ninja like Batman. She's just like bright and loud and awesome. I like this Harley Quinn a lot. So guess who shows up? Ghost Maker. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, you know, Batman's doing something else. I got nothing else to do, so I thought I'd come in and save you. You know, you're kind of interesting, so why don't we get out of here and I'll go buy you a new motorbike because you broke one of your own. And basically, she leaves like a note in classic Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man style. And we see this new character with like some weird grass-looking dogs holding a rose. We're like, I know this was somebody they teased. I don't know who it is, but it's a lady in a cool jacket. Looks great. I suppose she's going to be a villain connected to something. The rose would have me indicate there's going to be some connection to Ivy, because we know Queen Ivy should be coming up at some point in one of these stories. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I love seeing Harley Quinn in this book, even for a little bit. I think this is a great characteristic for her. I really like it. We cut back to the clock tower where Oracle is talking to Bruce, and they're trying to figure out what is really the plan here by Jonathan Crane. They both kind of think there's no way he did A-Day. It could have been a distraction to have him be like broken out, and that was like the main thing. But we don't think he was the mastermind behind everything. We start to truly understand what the Unsanity Collective is. Basically, this guy called Master Wise had got this like, he's got like a hold of this like weird tech from like some era with the Mad Hatter, and basically it's like it like erases your mind so you can use it to wipe everything out. And basically he wants to like reboot Gotham City so everyone forgets all the bullshit that's happening in Gotham City, and there could be like years of prosperity and future, which is cool. I think that's an interesting idea to play with, very unique in its experience. And, you know, Oracle tells them like they're hanging out in the Narrows, like it's like some old abandoned mall where a bunch of homeless people used to live or still do. You can go check it out if you want. Basically, yeah, that's fun. Let's actually get some detective work in here for Batman. Like, it's really cool. I'm really liking this artwork. Again, I said at the beginning, it looks really good. I like the way Oracle looks. I'm liking all of this designs. Everything works really well. You know, we get a scene where Simon Saint's talking to Scarecrow, like, things are going to go dirty and get bad, so we're going to have to do it the right way. And it's very cool. You're setting up a really interesting thing here, Tynan. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favorite stuff in Batman, but it's a different kind of story that I'm enjoying. I like it a lot. So we see, you know, Scarecrow isn't using this fear toxin to control the city into fear. We're seeing this new stuff about, like, erasing Gotham's identity and turning it into something else. We're seeing this cool story of Harley Quinn. I like that a lot. So, yeah, it's just like Simon Saint realizing work's going to get shitty and dirty if that's what we're going to do to save Gotham City. We go to the Narrows, and we end the book with, like, this new dude. He's not new, but you guys get it. Like, this guy, he's like, yo, I'm looking for the Unsanity Collective. And this guard's like, who, what are you, some kind of cop? He's like, no, my name's Match. Tell your boss that I want to come in. And you're like, who the heck's this guy? You obviously know who it's going to be. Is this... It's Bruce, right? It looks so silly. I love it. He looks like a young Commissioner Gordon if he was in Tron. It's absolutely fantastic. That's cool. Way to bring back Match, buddy. That's cool. Very fun stuff. But that's not where this book ends. No. We get a Ghost Maker backup. And it does something I was waiting to see happen. Ghost Maker, at the very least, is bisexual, which means we are one step closer to Ghost Maker and Batman kissing, folks. He wakes up, he's in bed with a guy and a woman. They're just like having fun. He loves them. He's like, all right, you have the hotel, have fun, spend some money. It's all paid for. I got work to do. Bye-bye. He's just like leaves. He's talking to Icon. He's giving me some serious Phantom X vibes from X-Force back in the day. He's got this thing called Icon. It's like his robot. He's like, hello. What are we doing today? Oh, looks like we got a mission. We're going to some weird place. He's putting on his Ghostmaker suit, and we are seeing that he is headed to this place called Devil's Skull Island. I mean, it's on the nose, but I can't complain about that. Like, on the nose works sometimes, so good job with that name. I love it. And on Skull Island of the Devil, I don't know why I call it that, but you get it. Madame Midas, the richest woman in the world, you've probably never heard of before that. She's talking to a bunch of assassins like, so you all tried to kill Ghostmaker before, you failed. I need him dead before he messes up my life even more. So you either do it now or I'm not paying you. And we see a bunch of these other characters. I don't know if we've seen them in other places before, but there's like the Instigator, there's Razorline, there's Kid Kawaii, there's Brainstorm, and she's like, that's great. First off, he's coming here now, so you can be able to kill him on Devil's Skull Island. They're like, what is wrong with you, woman? I don't want to fight him. He's going to damage us. He's going to kill us. Why would we do that? And she's like, oh, shut up and go fight him. So we see that he's walking along the island, breaking through, doing a bunch of cool stuff. He gets attacked by some tigers. Not just any tiger, a robot tiger. Not just any robot tiger, but a laser robot tiger. He takes them down. He's like, looks like I'm going to have some fun here on Devil's Skull Island. And that's a really cool, just like little story with Ghostmaker. Like, yeah, he's a deadly assassin boy. You should be scared of him. If he can go toe-to-toe with Batman, he's a threat to be like reckoned with. So that's a very fun thing to explore and experience. I liked that a lot. A very, very cool addition to this book. I enjoyed it. a great issue. It's solid. It's bringing up a lot of cool stuff. I love this. I just love it. It's great. The artwork looks cool. The characters are fun. You're introducing new stuff into the mythos that would exist in a 2020 version of Batman, which I think is a really cool thing to explore. Tynion continues to impress me with every outing for this book. Absolutely amazing. So, Batman issue 107, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.